2 years, that's when the results are supposed to be announced. So it means the electioneering has got to happen in 6 months' time. The elections are in 2024. Before even the marriage, let's not call it the marriage now. Let's not call it, I think it's a one night stand. So, before they get to know each other, they've got to start fighting with each other in 6 months' time, so that we now can go to local government elections. So, again, by the way, in 2020, I wrote another opinion piece where I was advocating for harmonization of all elections and saying, this thing of having elections every 2 years, it's a problem. Bring together local government elections together with national and provincial elections so that you vote and then you've got stability for 5 years. Because like I'm saying now, the environment gets even more complicated because you've got no one dominant political party. So they've got to try to get to know each other. And in 6 months' time, they've got to start putting up posters. And then they've got to try to find weaknesses on each other and fight with each other. And then, by the way, one of the things that have got to bring stability into the country is having to socialize these agreements and the coalition. It means ordinary members of the African National Congress in the township and in informal settlement, they've got to understand what this agreement is all about. It's going to take time. By the time they go to their branches might actually say to them, they've lost the election and therefore they've got no reason to be there and they must resign. They've not tested this. DA equally has not gone to its constituency to try to talk about the implications of this. So we're moving into a very difficult environment. And then that's what I'm saying. You've got two issues, by the way, here. The Minister of COGTA had tried to regulate, after we had written lots of articles and opinion pieces on regulation of coalitions. They have put now a bill before Parliament, but it only deals with local government situation. So it's called Local Government Municipal Structures or Systems Amendment Bill. And then the three main features in that bill is that one, they're saying there should not be a motion of no confidence for 2 years. And then two, that representation must be proportional to the number of seats you get, so in the executive. So they're using proportionality. And then thirdly, that the party that receives less than 1% should not actually be part of the executive. So, but that's at the local government level. And I'm saying the current events have actually basically overtaken that particular process. So you can no longer talk about regulation at the local government level. That regulation has got to be now at all levels. So they've got to change that thing and begin to put it back to regulating the national and provincial. So what is going to keep this thing standing? It is basically good faith. And I've already said to you, good faith doesn't really work. So it means they must put in incentives and disincentives so that there have got to be two parallel processes. One, it's a legal process that is going to end up with the regulation of this arrangement. And then the second one is to deal with the immediate. The immediate every party that is part of this thing must feel that if they were to get out, there is a disincentive from getting it, or there is an incentive for them to remain in. And then what are those things? They must put them in, because that agreement that they have currently is too broad. So they've got to try to put in the mechanism around it. Prof, there is an issue that I'm going to talk about later on, which we are skirting. We're not confronting it. But I don't want to deal with it now. I want to give other people a chance. Because, there is something that psychologically creates a problem for me. And I'm going to talk about it because what Chris refers to as this market has got to be contextualized. Because this party, market, was not registered and did not participate in the elections. And then therefore, in a democracy, you've got to go along with how the electorate have chosen. And in reality, the market forces were represented by certain forces. The DA, what is this other one? Mzansi Center? Right. They represented that constituency, the so-called market. Now, to try to introduce a party that lost the elections at this late stage and saying, because they've been rejected by the electorate, isn't it? So, to be reintroducing a new party at the end of the elections as a party that must be considered for the purpose of the determination of the direction of the country is beginning to look a little bit disingenuous, isn't it?